Hi, it's Jez here from Nigezza.co.uk. Thank you for joining me today. So today I'm going to bring you an endless card. I haven't made one of these for a very long time, and I was recently on a blog hop and the theme was fancy fold, so I thought I'm going to make one. So if you've never seen one before, they are amazing. They go round and round and back again. So that's why they're called endless, because you can go on and on and on. So I've made this using boho indigo paper, and I've got different die sets there to decorate it. And some people make this and I see them turn it as they go. I like it to just be in the same orientation as it's going around. That's just my preference. On the back here I've done these stitched triangles to give you somewhere to write on it. So as you can see, this is a special birthday card. It's for an 80th. But one thing you can do, so this front bit and this back bit can be of the same colourway, or they could be two different colourways. It's entirely up to you. But these bits in the centre, these two faces of the card, need to be in the same colourway, because you see on these two squares here, you see half of it when you're looking at it. So you need to be mindful when you're decorating these squares that the outer bit matches what's going on here, and that it still looks uniform when you're on the inside. So on this, although this one's all the same colourway, I'm going to do it differently on this one to sort of illustrate the point. And as you can see there, I've done one sort of die cut image there, but it's just split in half, which works quite well, I think. Okay, so what do we need? So this measures 6 by 6, or it's just over 15 centimetres by 15 centimetres. Okay, you could do 15 centimetres by 15 centimetres if you wanted to, but I do inches. So you need 4 rectangles. So if you're working centimetres, you'd go 15 centimetres by 7.5. The width needs to be half of the length. These are 6 by 3, and you're going to do some scoring on them, and we are going to score. So your score line is a quarter of that, or half of this. That's what you've got to do. So it's 1.5 inches in this instance. So you can either score at 1.5 and then at 4.5, or you could do 1.5, swizzle, and do 1.5 again. It matters not. Okay, and you're going to do that on each of them. Okay, and then just on 2 of them, you just want, with a light touch of a pencil, we're just going to mark where 1.5 is. Okay, you can do it with a ruler, it doesn't matter. And what you're going to do is you're going to put glue on there, and glue on there, and glue on there, and glue on there. Okay, we are going to fold and burnish these score lines. What you're going to do is you're going to lay them down with the fold lines going up on one side. These are going to get laid the other way around with the fold lines going down. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to put glue on these corners and then stick these over, making sure it is lined up. And that is the basic construct of the card. So I'm just going to rub out these lines so that I can still see it faintly, but just in case I have in fact gone too far over. Oh, they're down that way. They need to be the outer corners. I just wanted to draw it in so you could see it. So now I'm just going to get some Tombow and it's going to go around these corners. Right, so this is going to get placed on top. Doesn't matter if you do the top or the bottom first. So I'll have that lined up there and then lined up on the top. And then the same on this side. So we're going in the opposite direction and we're making sure that the score line, the folds, are going in the opposite direction as well. And that is it. So now this goes round and round, and where it stops nobody knows. So we just do it a few times so that it's happy to go round. Get my bone folder and give it a nice crease down. Must have been some glue oozing, but I'm not worried. I'll get my little glue eraser. And then that's the back, and then we're back to the beginning. So now we just need the mats to go on top. So each of these squares are 3 by 3, so we're going to take 1/4 inch down. So the squares in here need to be 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. So I've already cut my DSP and I'm using flowers for every season, and I'm going to use the Celebrate Sunflowers bundle to decorate. Okay, so I've cut these out and I've cut them so that I've got a continuous pattern across, and then I've cut the same pattern there for to go on the rectangles at each end, and these are also 2 3/4 wide, but they're 1 1/4 deep. So that's what I've got for that front face. So I'm going to get those stuck down. So that's that face done, and then we're going to come in the middle here, and remember that that's going to go up like so. So these need to be the same colorway. So I'm using the Sunflowers and the Just Jade. So on this we need 4 squares for each corner, and these measure 1 1/4 by 1 1/4. All these measurements will be over on my blog, so don't worry about them right now, so they're going in the corner. I'm trying to decide, are those leaves up, so that's about the right way. And I picked this one because it kind of picks out the leaves there, and this is going this way, so I cut this that way. So I cut this so that the pattern continued that way. And for the underneath, I've gone for a plainer pattern because I thought that would look better. And we've got sunflowers going in the corner. So I'm going to get those cut out. And for the squares underneath, I did the same thing, is I cut it so that they followed a pattern. I've just got to match them up now. There. So that's going at the top. So there we go. So I'm going to get these all stuck down. So that's that one done, so then it just leaves the back. So we've got that face, that face, that face, and then the back is going to be the same as the front, but the difference is this one was cut with them going in that direction, and this one needs to be cut with it going in that direction. So that's the basis of the card finished. So a nice bright sunshiny sunflower and daisy card. Okay, so I've planned each section of the card. It is a bit like decorating 4 separate cards, and you kind of want to make them sort of flow nice. So I've used an awful lot of things, and I think when you're making a card that's this special, then you just throw everything at it. So I have used some of the sentiments from many messages. I've used the "Hooray, it's your birthday, wishing you a year of magical moments and wonderful memories, and sending a smile your way." I've used the stitched triangles, and within that I've used the as well as the triangles for the space to put the message on, I've used the bunting and the triangles that go inside the bunting to decorate it. I've used well written for the happy birthday and the birthday wishes. I've of course used the dies that go with the many messages. It doesn't fit on there because that's not shown at 100%. And I've also cut some extra ones out to mat. So like this cuts out the "Hooray, it's you," but it will mat inside there. I cut out the "Sending a smile your way" and it mats inside there. That one I've used the pick a label punch to mat that one. And I have used the sunflower dies as well. So I've used the sunflower and the 2 leaves. So I've stamped them as well and cut them out. And I've used the sort of, what are they, ears of corn, I think. So I've got them all ready. Oh, and I've also used the medium daisy punch as well. So I got them all ready. I feel like a little bit like a chef because I've got these little glass dishes, just so I just made it easier to sort of pull everything together. So got them ready, and I've done some prep to make it easier to put it together. So I have made some little daisies and some little sunflowers, and I am going to show you how I made them, but I'm going to show you now. Oh, those were just extras that I got. How I put this together. So I decided we wanted some bunting, and I kind of tested out what the different colours look like, and I've decided to go with a green happy birthday. So I decided that I wanted a green bunting with yellow triangles. So I'm going to show you how I easily put the triangles in, and I felt we needed something else, so I thought some sunflowers with a few leaves behind. I think I was going to do 2 leaves actually. And I have got spare, and those were my thoughts for how I was going to decorate the front. And I sort of decided to leave the DSP to be as is there on the front. So let me first of all show you how I did the bunting, and then I'll show you how I did the daisy and the sunflower. So quite simply, I used my putty picker-upper tool, which is just brilliant for this job. So these cut out using that triangle die, and it does leave triangle shapes in it. So all I did was I just put a tiny little blob of glue in the middle. You could use a pair of tweezers if you are good with using tweezers. I'm not so good with using tweezers, but I am going to use them to just turn them over, because they are, what I did was I cut these out and they kind of stayed on the cutting mat of my big shot, and so I just picked them straight up from there. But as I've put these in the jar, they didn't do that so well. So using my putty end, I pick it up, place it on. Simples. I'm going to start with that end actually, and then my hand don't get in the way of the glue when I poke it down. And that is how I did the bunting. Now let me show you how I did the daisies and the sunflowers. Okay, so these are all the things we needed. So I've got the medium daisy punch. It is a lot bigger than those flowers there. And I needed to make sure that they were below 1.5 inches wide. I've got the classic label punch here. I've got the retired half circle, and I've got whisper white there for the daisy, and obviously bumblebee. I've got bumblebee for the sunflower, and then we've got cinnamon cider for the middle. I've got a little bit of a tool. I used to use just the back end of the paper piercer, but I got these. They were really dirt cheap, so I thought I'm going to give them a go. So they're both made slightly differently, so we're just going to, I'll just show you on the one. So you obviously will cut 2, but I'm just going to do the one just to illustrate how we do it. Right, so the daisies have got little flagging ends, and the sunflowers have got pointy ends, just to sort of match what's on the DSP. If you look on the DSP, the sunflowers do have sort of like pointy ends, but the daisies are a little bit different. So, and they're a little bit smaller. So I just literally put it there on the point and Didn't have to be even, just went round and did that. It was fairly quick. You could of course use scissors, but I quite liked that. Was fairly quick. So I did 2 of those and layered them up. To do the sunflower, I used scissors. So all I did for those was kind of judge where the center was, went down, came in slightly when I did the second cut. You could, when you're doing the scissors, you could layer them up so you're doing 2 at a time. The punch didn't work so well when I tried to do 2 layers at a time. So that's how I got those shapes. And then you just give them a little bit of a curl. With the sunflowers, I did both layers curling up like so, and with the daisies I did one going one way and one going the other. There we go, to give us that sort of shape. And then we got a little half circle, and I just go round and round and round in a circle. Gives you a little bit of a dome. Normally I'd pop a little dimensional under there so it kept it up, but we don't want any dimension on this, so it just pushed down slightly in the middle, and I actually really liked that effect. I thought that that was quite cool. So that's how I made those flowers. Put them to one side. I am sure I'll need those for another project. Now that I've kind of done that and like that as an idea, I will do it again. So now it's just a matter of sticking these in place. There we are. So that is the first bit finished. So then we need to come over and do the middle bit, and remembering that that is on the inside as well. So I've got to put things on, whatever I put on that outside bit is going to get seen. So that bowl. Okay, so my idea for this is if we put these on each of the outside, then they're there for the others, for the they can get seen on both. I stamped the leaf again from the stamp set, and then just die cut them out, and I thought they would look cute, one in each corner would look very nice. And I cut the wishing you a year of magical moments and wonderful memories, and then I used the lovely label Pick a Punch to create that, which would go on nicely there. And I cut 2 circles using the delightful label punch. That's one way of getting nice little circles. And then I remembered I've got these, so I might change my mind and use them, but for the moment I'm just going to place those on there. She says, failing miserably. We'll just leave it there for now. And then I cut the sending a smile your way, and got the little mat for that. And I'm going to put that, I'm going to cut this sunflower down and have it going across there. And I'm going to use this to help me get a nice straight angle. So we're going to go across that bottom bit. And then that can go on there nicely. Okay, so that's that one done. So, and then we can see how this fits nicely there. And then we're just going to simply, I'm going to put sunflower in the middle. Obviously we then need to cut it in half, and then I've done a hooray, it's your birthday. And that one mats nicely inside that. So that's all from the many messages set. And I'm going to stick that across there. The whole thing's going to get chopped in half. So my idea is to stick it down first and then chop it in half. And I'm fingers crossing it works. So I'm just going to put glue on here. Where this is going to stick down to, so I don't want any glue on the center point at the moment. So that is going to go on there. So we're going to bring our little trimmer again, and it kind of goes to 3 1/4. So we want to go to 1 1/2 and just a slight bit more, keeping that sentiment straight and chopping it down. So we can then stick, and it will overlap the mat that's on there. So it's not stuck on the mat, but that's okay. We might need to trim a little bit of the top bit off. I'm going to see how that works with the folding over and the folding back. So, oops, I like hooked it round there. So I'm just going to put some glue around here, and where there is bits where this can be stuck down. So that is that page, and I'm just gonna go round and round just to see how they fare. So they have bent a bit. Now what I can do here is I can snip that because you won't notice. There, so that's snipped off quite nicely. At the top we can take that bit off. Works quite well. And so then we come to the last face, and that is where we're going to add the bit to write on. So I've used the stitch rectangles. You could just cut a square and cut it in half. That would work as well. Okay, and I'm going to put birthday wishes on it like I did with the first one. And that's just enough room to write. And then I went with a few ideas. So I cut these out and thought they look nice. Then I thought, let's go with green. Let's pick out the green and do that. I wasn't sure if I liked the yellow on the sides, if I'm honest. So I then went with the green, and then I thought, oh, cut them now. What would they look like if we doubled them up? And I actually really liked them doubled up. So that is what I've decided to go with. So I'm going to get those stuck down. So that's it, finished. So I just added the dots for the eyes in Wishes and Birthday with the enamel dots in Misty Moonlight. So that is the card, and they kind of stand up like so. Not that you can see it, but that'd be how they'd stand up. So yeah, that is my sunflower card. There we go. So that's that version, and that's that version. So you can see how changing the papers makes a little bit of difference to how it looks. Okay, hope you like that. I will link down below to everything that I've used, and I've used a lot, and that'll be linked to my shop, and I'll link to the blog where I'll have all the measurements for you so that you can do this, and I'll have pictures of each of the faces so that you can see how I decorate it and have fun. Decorate it however you like. This is a great card, and if you've got a really special birthday, then it is nice to sort of push the boat out and make something really, really special. And you could use it, of course, for other occasions like weddings and such. Okay, thanks for joining me. I'll see you all again soon.